Have you been waiting for the new Elder Scrolls as long as I have? Well, I may have found something to tide us over. It's a beautiful, story-rich open world with a ton of loot. And surprise, it's also an indie game. So you know what that means. It's Indie Game of the Month time. This is a story where King Arthur's legend didn't end in glory or peace, but it's been blurred, distorted, and twisted. This dark fantasy, story-driven RPG feels as if Dark Souls and Elder Scrolls had a weird, brooding Arthurian cousin. The Indie Game of the Month is Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon. Let's dive in! Hello everyone, I'm Galatea, and each month I spotlight indie gems crafted with care, love, and a whole lot of passion. This is a series I call Indie Game of the Month. Unfortunately timed with the remaster of Oblivion, this game didn't seem to garner as much attention as it really should. The developer Awaken Realms usually makes board games, and Tainted Grail is one of their tabletop IPs brought into the video game world. I've sunk in 15 hours already, and whilst I haven't completed it yet, I absolutely adore this game. Whilst it's not perfect, it is an indie game with limited budget after all. The developers clearly took inspiration from Bethesda's open world design and RPG mechanics, and they managed to create something that really taps into what Elder Scrolls fans enjoy. This Indie Game of the Month is like a love letter to the Elder Scrolls series, but set in a dark, brooding world that leans closer to horror. This crumbling world has a plague. It's called the Red Death, and there's this dark magic stuff called the weirdness, which seems to alter reality. Maybe? Your character, which you get to design yourself, manages to get caught up in some kind of feud, and you have to choose which side you're going to support. As always, I don't want to spoil things, and this game has an amazing hook right at the start that everyone should experience for themselves. But let's just say this game centers around choice, consequence, and choosing sides. And there's this guy on the cover. And there's something about trying to understand truth and reality. And you get to start the game in homage to Oblivion, in jail.
Look, we just have to get this over and done with.
This truly is a love letter to Bethesda. The art direction leans into bleak, grim-dark fantasy, dilapidated buildings, crumbling walls, collapsed shacks. Residents are forced to crime to survive, and skies always seem on the edge of a storm. Everything feels weighty and worn down, the opposite of Avalon's once great dream. The ominous weirdness brings a nightmare state, where beings of shadow are trying to steal your life force. Character designs in the world feel more in line with the Souls-like games or Lords of the Fallen. And this guy looks like he's been taken from the pages of Lord of the Rings. Mr. Sauron, right? Cutscenes don't feel like they're an indie game, and I only found out it was an indie game when reading a gaming magazine. The quality and fidelity and depth is amazing. I mean, look at this guy. Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon is an open world RPG, which means there's an open world. And, unlike Avowed, has the best thing in games, loot. But it's not just the buildcraft loot that you might get in games such as Diablo. It's the kind of useless loot you get in all the Elder Scrolls series, and even in Baldur's Gate 3. It makes the world feel alive, rather than just a flat set piece. Whilst I've seen some negative comments about the gameplay, I found it fun so far, with a mix of unique spells that fit into the vibe of the game. And there's a whole suite of other fun Elder Scroll-like mechanics. Lockpicking, cooking, crafting, chatting.
Thank you. May the All-Mother bless you.
There's your main quest, again no spoilers, but there's a ton of side quests if you want to go deeper into the world and level up your character.
I thought the South was supposed to be more secluded.
Leveling is fun with multi-page skill trees, with lots of options to choose from if you want to build your character in a certain way. But those who are not into buildcraft, you can still be rewarded to play however you want. Again, like the Spirit of Oblivion or Morrowind. And that's what I think this game does really well. It feels like it's taken a step back and brought us to the Oblivion world of gameplay, rather than the more, let's say, dumbed down version of Skyrim. And to me, this is what makes it feel more immersive, like a proper role-playing game. Not only do you have your main abilities like attacking and defending and magic, but you can immerse yourself into mundane activities. Looting and selling can increase your mercantile skill, jumping for your acrobatics, and just running around can improve your athletics. It feels more realistic about building a character. The more you run around, the more you'll be faster at running. It's a really small detail, but to me it really makes a difference of being totally wrapped up into an RPG experience. In Tainted Grail, the music and sound design do so much of the heavy lifting. It doesn't just set the mood, it drags you deeper into the world's darkness and mystery. Also, it brings out the heavy metal fan in me that I didn't really know existed. It has one of the most amazing songs and cutscenes. I'm going to put the full clip in the description below, and I'm sure you're going to put it on repeat as much as I did. Whilst I'm only 15 hours in, I know I haven't met all the characters yet, but two figures stand out almost immediately. I'll avoid spoilers, again and as always, but early on you're introduced to two opposing forces, and you're never quite sure who's right, who's wrong, or whether either of them can be trusted. That uncertainty seems to be at the heart of Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon, a game built around choice, consequence, and moral ambiguity. I still don't know which path I'll take, but knowing me, I always struggle with the evil or darker playthroughs, so I'm sure I'll be the best Galatea I can be. But let's just see if my actions are actually on the right side. It's already so hard to tell. It's a testament to this game that it's not so obvious what the correct path is. And the random encounters I've randomly encountered seem to hint at a deeper backstory for the characters, as well as indicators of the current state of the world.
Ask questions later, damn it. And now we have no gold, no nothing, just a pile of old stone and a dead body.
No, come off it. Let's just take what he had and let's get out of here.
There's also enemies that are designed with a sense of humour, once again akin to the Elder Scrolls.
And done. Now you've got a bit of my power. Go into the world, use it well.
Some NPCs have an awkward and robotic charm to them, and lots of backstories to uncover.
Most unfortunate.
It really just carries this janky Bethesda charm that we all secretly love. I quite like that it doesn't have that AAA polish. One of my favourite things in any RPG is seeing what all the different outfits look like, donning on pretty armour and pretty weapons. And you have this Destiny-like UI that many games have now adopted, such as Hogwarts Legacy and Dragon Age Veilguard. It adds to the layer of feeling like you're gradually strengthening up your character to face harder and harder challenges. This game is for anyone who loves decision-making or perhaps karma games, open worlds, stories, and yes, useless loot. With 3 massive zones to explore, 250 unique NPCs that are fully voice acted, over 200 side quests, more than 60 unique enemies, and over 70 dungeons, for me, Tainted Grail, The Fall of Avalon, is my next Elder Scrolls. With just a little added horror. I'm having so much fun playing this alongside Baldur's Gate 3. Because I was shocked that an indie game can have so much depth and atmosphere and fun and loot, Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon is very well deserving to place as Indie Game of the Month of June. Have you played Tainted Grail, Fall of Avalon? Or is this the first time you're hearing about it? As always, I would love to hear your thoughts and feelings below. Until next time, bye!